do it, if you think about it. Now, you know, a lot of people want to get into creating and writing, and they may feel like the nerd, like you were saying, and they're out of place. So what is the work ethic that it takes or that is required for them to get to where you are now that you have your own publishing comic company?
Everything for me as a comic book creator was set up by everything that I did as a musician, musical artist, which that wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the comic books. So the first thing to do is believe in your idea. Believe in your idea. Like, you gotta really believe it. Those words, make believe. I used to get teased. You into that corny bullshit, make believe stuff. And I used to walk away dejected, but I used to say to myself, you gotta get it right.
Right.
I wouldn't tell them that because they might beat me up some more. Let me just walk away not saying it so they can leave me alone.
I would have told them anyway.
But look at the words make believe. Man, that's make believe you do. Man, that's fantasy, make believe, and pretend is real. Look at the words make believe. Make the world believe it. I was playing when I said, I am the king of rock. There is none higher. Sucker MCs will call me sire. To burn my kingdom, you must use fire. But I won't stop rocking till I really believe that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't think the world was going to believe it, but I believed it so much that when I walk this earth to this day, they call me king. No, they don't say celebrity DMC's in the room or rapper DMC. And I'm talking about, these are my peers. I see Jay-Z, yo, what's up, King?
Right.
I see Method Man, yo, King, and they make Busta Rhymes. It's the last person, the King is here. And then I laugh and I say, I was just playing, but was I? So you gotta believe in your idea. And the second thing, I just saw an interview with Stan Lee saying this.
Right.
Do it, create it. Even if you start with stick figures. Because it will evolve into its manifestation. Don't sit there and think it's not good enough. Don't think it's not worth nothing. Look, here's the truth. You don't want the trillion of people that brought Marvel.
Right.
You want the I can't even say that word, trillion, billion, gazillion that did. When I make a rap song, I don't want the 10 million people that brought Eminem. Oh, and then I get ejected. I want the 20 billion that did it. So that means create something that's going to be so different, but so relatable to everybody that hears it. I'm not a gangster rapper, but gangsters listen to Tricky.
Right.
A gangster, a grandmother, a white person, a Muslim, a Jewish person, and a little kid can come and listen to Run DMC records forever.
Right.
So with your creation, do something that's universal, and at the end of the day, if the whole world don't like it, so what? Put yourself in it.
Absolutely.
So, imagination and creativity will teach you to love yourself. So that's what I did. Now, that being said, let's talk about the actual making of the book.
Right.
I didn't want to do this.
But why? If you're so passionate about it, why would you not want to?
Because I didn't want to be another rapper that just because I had hit records thinking I could do everything. Because rappers and celebrities have a way of ruining sacred things that are sacred to our culture. You know, not everybody.
Elaborate on that. What do you mean by like ruining?
I don't want you saying, yo, DMC's doing some crappy representation just for financial gain. This isn't a business for me. I did this because I love it. And I want it to be so good that it's a tribute and a celebration of why you like comic books. I don't care if you was reading comic books since the 40s or the 50s or the 60s. For the future comic book readers, I want everybody that ever read a comic book, past, present, and future, to say, yo, this is dope.
Right.
That was my motivation. Now, this comic book came about because you already have everything necessary for you to succeed. We are all children of pop culture. We all are unique in our very own ways, and we all have one little aspect of ourselves that will make you successful and acceptable in whatever it is that you do. And I'm going to prove that. This comic book came about because I went to a music meeting up at Atlantic Records.
Okay.
I met with a young man named Riggs Morales, who was Eminem's right-hand man over at Shady Records for the rise of that great power.
Okay.
And that came about because I had a friend that was shopping an artist, and it was like, yo, DMC, can you help me get a meeting up at Atlantic Records? Because if I call him, I never get a meeting. We
Yeah, that's true.
And he said, even if
you can't be mad. He's just trying to get in.
And even if DMC called, it might take a week before they call me up and do
right.
you know, the things that record executives do. So I was like, I don't want to do it. So I call, and Ray says, who's this DMC? And Ray says, come right up. Because I didn't notice it. I get up there and I'm sitting in front of Ray, and he goes, yo, I'm usually very professional. And this is what I mean. We are all so connected in so many ways. He says, I'm usually very professional. Like his executive of American Records. He said, I'm usually very professional. And then he looked at me and he said, but DMC, you was like my superhero when I was growing up. The way you looked, the way you sound, and the way you delivered your stuff. He said, I just want to ask you something. What was it like when you was a kid?
Wow.
He was like, I met Jay a bunch of times, and I was like, you know, that whole thing. Yeah. But he wanted to get personal. He said, what was it like when you were a kid? And I told him just what I told you. I was like, well, all I did was read, collect, and draw comic books. We sat there for 3 hours and we talked about comic books.
Before you continue that story, you know, that's your second time mentioning that. You know, this is somebody who looks up to you and they're like, you're like my superhero. Right. And when you walk in rooms, especially with people like Jay-Z, he's big now. You know, a lot of people call him the GOAT, and he's calling you the king. And Busta Rhymes is calling you the king. How does that make you feel? Take me through your mindset. Like, wow, like.
It's inconceivable. It's inconceivable. Because, all right, I'm the king, but it lets me know that there are plenty kings or queens walking the earth. Because a lot of people think that I'm the king and think that they're only one, but think about it. I gotta leave my kingdom, go over the mountain, there's another king over there.
Right.
So, if you believe in yourself, no matter what obstacles and adversaries are up against you, people will respect you. So, Rick says that to me, and I said, well, all I did was read, collect, and draw comic books. He said, comic books? I was like, yeah, comic books. We sat there for 3 hours. We didn't talk about no hip-hop, we didn't talk about no music, we talked about comic books. And I just blew his mind. Yeah, I had a big collection of Marvel, this and that, everything. And when we finished, he said, D, you should do a comic book.
Wow.
And I said, nope, you're not going to get me in trouble with my fellow geeks and nerds, because we're very critical. You know what I'm saying? Because if it ain't dope, y'all don't let me know. And y'all going to hate me for even trying. So I respect y'all. I respect the culture. But then Rick said this is what got me. He said, yo, D, with a comic book, you can do the same thing you've always done with your music for the last 35 years. I was like, what? He said, inspire, motivate, educate, and entertain.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, I didn't think about that. So long story short, he said, I'm going to do something for you this year. This was 3 years ago. He took me to the New York City Comic-Con. So when I walked in New York City Comic-Con, I saw all the comic books that I had, all the TV shows when I was little, all the toys that I was little. And it was almost like when I walked into Comic-Con, you know how Iron Man's suit comes on? When he just puts the thing. Remember when Iron Man 3, when he would go, and the suit would come in, it was like when I walked through those doors, oh, my armor came back to me. Right. And I said, Riggs, it's a done deal. And then he said, hold up. He said, you're going to do this comic book company, but you can't use Marvel, you can't use DC, you can't use Image, you can't use Milestone. What would you call your comic book company? Now remember I said y'all already have everything necessary for you to succeed at everything that you do. Right. See, my thing started with DMC. Darryl McDaniels turns into the devastating mic controller. My whole career, I was always D's for doing it all of the time. M's for the rhymes that are all mine. C's for cool ass compete. And remember, say, why you wear those glasses? I would go, I can see. I was so cool wearing those glasses that I may ask your mother and father who made glasses popular in hip hop. Right? I was so cool and powerful with what I thought was my weakness that I make people that don't even need glasses want to wear glasses.
That's a fact.
That's powerful,
I definitely
everybody wants to
have perfect vision, but I need glasses.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, those are prescriptions?
These are not prescriptions.
Yeah,
you influence that.
So now think about that. That was with that